Okay, guys, welcome back to my channel. So I just put the other video up because I was just rambling and running around downstairs with my son. So I just wanted to start out here on this one where we can just start the step 2. So I named the name of this lesson is Heroin Making You Crazy. And I did that because we're going to talk about how you can get your sanity back and you can recover. And I'm going to help you with that. So if you're ready to find out a new way of life, to live a new way of life, if you're ready to change your life and to change the way you think and to do whatever it takes to get better, then I'm here to help you. And I want to be someone that you can talk to in your darkest hour. And I want you to know that you can trust me with any information that you talk to me about, because I will always keep it confidential. I know that drugs drove me crazy, and I almost lost my life because of drugs and alcohol, and I lost my mind. And I cannot believe that I'm here today and I'm able to like grasp words and sentences and understand. Like, I can't believe that my mind is not mush and that I'm not like disabled or mentally incapable of understanding because of all the drugs that I used and all the things that I did to myself. I shouldn't even be able to be here talking to you guys. It's a miracle that I am. So if heroin is making you crazy and you want to live a new way of life, oops, sorry. I'm such an amateur. If you want to live a new way of life and you don't want to stay on heroin and stay on other drugs anymore, then I got something for you. Yeah? Huh? Okay. Damn it. Okay. Okay, I'm coming, son. So what I've been doing, the video, 2 videos before this, I uploaded step 1, how it works. And what I've been doing is I've just been kind of sharing my experience with working the 12 steps and kind of going over and kind of explaining each step. So we're on step 2 now. So if you're just now getting here and you're new to the channel, welcome. Miss Butch step 2, so you can still catch up. Don't feel bad. Drink your milk, please.
I did.
Okay, Mommy's doing a lesson upstairs, so I need to be very quiet. A lesson.
What's a stupid lesson?
Huh. Shh. Don't say stupid again, or else you're going to get grounded again. You guys, I'm telling you, the struggle is real. Now, hush, Nate. I'm doing a lesson. I need 1 hour to myself. Stay down here and play. So we're on step 2. So you're here just in time for the good stuff. Okay. It's hot. I don't know where all my girls are, but that's okay. Okay, let's wipe this off. All right, let's do this. Step 2. Okay, so I'm going to read step 1 to you. Kind of do a little recap of that, and then we'll move right into step 2. So, step 1 is we admitted we were powerless over alcohol, that our lives had become unmanageable. Don't forget that in the step it says we admitted we were powerless. So, you're no longer powerless now. If you stopped drinking and using, you are no longer powerless. You have the ability to make positive changes and positive life choices, and you do not have to use drugs or alcohol no matter what. That our lives had become unmanageable. Unmanageability for me was homelessness, was losing my son, was, okay, go ahead, the light's on, was losing my jobs, was losing my family. It didn't start out like that. It started out real slowly, just gradually, you know, getting pulled over or getting a ticket for driving, you know, under the influence, or getting arrested for having drugs on me. That was another example of unmanageability. What?
Eli bought me a present.
What? Well,
I can't go there.
you're grounded. You can't go.
I can.
Look at me.
I can.
No, you better ask nicely.
I can.
No, change your attitude. Go potty. Go poo-poo, and then come back over here and ask me nicely.
Okay.
So, unmanageability, it showed itself in my life. Yeah, I'm confused too, Cher. So, I started the video over again because I felt like I was just rambling. So now we're going straight into step 2. So, my little boy, I love him, but he's 3, so I get interrupted quite frequently. And I just didn't want that video to just be like me running around and blah, 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 blah. So here we go. Step 2. Sorry about that. Came to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Okay? The moment they read step 2, most people are confronted with a dilemma. Sometimes a serious one. How often have we heard them cry out, look what you people have done to us. You have convinced us that we were alcoholics and that our lives are unmanageable.
I'm done.
Okay, having reduced us to a state of absolute helplessness. Okay. Oh, I'm coming.
Mommy,
Yeah.
what? Can I please go over to my house?
No, he can come over here. So you go get him and he tell him to come over here.
Oh, I forgot.
And over.
Did I forget?
What?
Did I forget to say sorry?
Yeah, you did forget.
Sorry. You never be mad at me.
Here's what you like to go over here and play. Go ahead. Tell me you can come over here.
You know, I need shoes.
Nate, get your sandals. Where are your sandals at? Or bring me your tennis shoes. Oh, guys. Okay. I gotta get more professional. Okay. Look what you people have done to us. You have convinced us that we are alcoholics and that our lives are unmanageable. Having reduced us to a state of absolute helplessness, you now declare that none but a higher power can remove our obsession. Some of us won't believe in God. Others can't. And still, others who do believe that God exists have no faith whatever. No faith whatever he will perform this miracle. Yes, you've got us over the barrel, all right, but where do we go from here? This is so awesome, you guys, because this step, it might say that it says come to believe that a power greater than ourselves could restore us to sanity. Like, that's exactly what it is. It's just a power greater than you. It doesn't have to be God. It doesn't have to be Jesus. It doesn't have to be Buddha, Allah. It doesn't even have to be, like, it doesn't have to be that way. It can be the fellowship. It can be the universe. It can be Mother Nature. It's a power that's greater than you are. It's something bigger than you. When I first got sober, I didn't have a relationship with God, and I was kind of scared to even get close. When I was younger, I was in a very strict religious background, Pentecostal, and I wasn't allowed to cut my hair. I couldn't wear pants. I had to wear skirts that went past my knees, and it was just a really bad experience for me. So when I got sober, my whole idea of God was that he was this big white man sitting on the throne with like a paddle in his hand, and that whatever I did, I was going to get a spanking for it. Heart with once he figured out. Yeah, and so Cher, I really was like, because I'm from the Bible Belt and I live in the South, and everybody here, it's God and Jesus and God and Jesus, and I believe in God. I truly do, and I love God with all my heart, and I have been saved and I've repented, given my life to Him. But at the beginning, I was not there, and I had to find a power greater than me to believe in. And I remember my sponsor, she said to me, she said, "Do you believe that I believe that you can do this?" And I said, "Yeah." And she said, "Can you just trust and believe that I believe?" And I was like, "Yeah, I can do that. I can do that." And she was like, "Okay, well, we're going to get you, you're going to come to believe." And that's all step 2 is. All step 2 is coming to believe. Is coming to that realization and that part in your life where you're ready to trust something other than yourself, where you're ready to let go of trying to control your life, because obviously my controlling my life didn't work out, because if it had, I wouldn't be in the situations I got myself into, and coming to believe in a power greater than me was me giving over that control, was me giving over trying to maintain my life, trying to maintain by getting high and just, oh, if I can only just do one pill today, then I'll be okay. Oh, well, I'll just stop drinking and I'll only use pills. And I would flip-flop back and forth and try in between trying to, manage my addiction so that way it wouldn't get out of hand and I wouldn't pass out or act like an ass. And I kept on losing myself. And it was because I was trying to run the show, because I couldn't let go and I couldn't believe in a power greater than me. Let's look first at the case of the one who says he won't believe. Oh, this is great. The belligerent one. He is in a state of mind which can be described only as savage. His whole philosophy of life, in which he so gloried, is threatened. It's bad enough, he thinks, to admit alcohol has him down for keeps. But now, still smarting from the admission, he is faced with something really impossible. How he does cherish the thought that man, risen so majestically from a single cell in the premortal ooze, is the spearhead of evolution and therefore the only God that his universe knows. Must he renounce all this to save himself? At this juncture, his AA sponsor usually laughs. This, the newcomer thinks, is just about the last straw. This is the beginning of the end, and so it is, the beginning of the end of his old life and the beginning of his emergence into a new one. His sponsor probably says, "Take it easy. The hoop you have to jump through is a lot wider than you think. At least I found it so. So did a friend of mine who was at one time vice president of the American Atheist Society, but he got through with a room to spare." "Well," says the newcomer, "I know you're telling me the truth. It's no doubt a fact that AA is full of people who once believed as I do. But just how in these circumstances does a fellow take it easy? That's what I want to know." "That," agrees the sponsor, "is a very good question indeed. I think I can tell you exactly how to relax. You won't have to work at it very hard either. Listen, if you will, to these 3 statements. First, Alcoholics Anonymous does not demand that you believe anything. All of its 12 steps are but suggestions." What, Nate? Nate! Second, to get sober and to stay sober, you don't have to swallow all of step 2 right now. So, looking back, I find that I took it piecemeal myself. Third, all you really need is a truly open mind. Just resign yourself from the debating society and quit bothering yourself with such deep questions as whether it was the hen or the egg that came first. This is, again, I say, all you need is an open mind. So let's read those 3 again, because this is all it takes, you guys. Okay. First, Alcoholics Anonymous does not demand that you believe anything. All of its 12 steps are but suggestions. Second, to get sober and to stay sober, you don't have to swallow all step 2 right away. You can take it in pieces. And then third, all you really need is a truly open mind. Shh. Just resign from the debating society and quit bothering yourself with such deep questions as whether it was the hen or the egg that came first. What, baby? I see. Thank you, Eli.
Nate.
Okay. The sponsor continues. Take, for example, my own case. I had a scientific schooling. Naturally, I respected, venerated, even worshiped science. As a matter of fact, I still do. All except for the worship part. Time after time, my instructors held up to me the basic principle of all scientific progress. Search and research, again and again, always with an open mind. When I first looked at AA, my reaction was just like yours. This AA business, I thought, is totally unscientific. This I can't swallow. I simply won't consider such nonsense. Hey guys, I love you guys. Please go in your room to play, Nate. Okay, please. Then I woke up. I had to admit that AA showed results. Prodigious results. I saw that my attitude regarding these had been anything but scientific. It wasn't AA that had the closed mind. It was me. The minute I stopped arguing, I could begin to see and feel. Right there, step 2, gently and very gradually begin to infiltrate my life. Nathaniel, I said go in your room and play before I get the belt and spank you. I can't say upon what occasion or upon what day I came to believe in a power greater than myself, but I certainly had that belief now. To acquire it, I had only to stop fighting and practice the rest of the AA's program as enthusiastically as I could. This is only one man's opinion based on his own experience, of course. I must quickly reassure you that AA's tread innumerable paths in their quest for faith. If you don't care for the one I've suggested, you'll be sure to discover one that suits you. Many a man like you has begun to solve the problem by the method of substitution. You can, if you wish, make A itself your higher power. Here's a very large group of people who have solved their alcohol problem. In this respect, they are certainly a power greater than you, who have not even come close to a solution. Surely you can have faith in them. Even this minimum of faith will be enough. You will find many members who have crossed the threshold just this way. All of them will tell you that. Once across, their faith broadened and deepened. Relieved of the alcohol obsession, their lives unaccountably transformed. They came to believe in a power, and most of them began to talk of God. Consider next the plight of those who once had faith but have lost it. This was me. There will be those who have drifted into indifference, those filled with self-sufficiency who have cut themselves off, those who have become prejudiced against religion, and those who are downright defiant because God has failed to fulfill their demands. Can AA experience tell all these they may still find a faith that works? Sometimes AA comes harder to those who have lost or rejected faith than to those who have never had faith at all. For they think they have tried faith and found it wanting. They have tried the way of faith and the way of no faith. Since both ways have proved bitterly disappointing, they have concluded there is no place whatever for them to go. The roadblocks of indifference Fancied self-sufficiency, prejudice, and defiance often prove more solid and formidable for these people than any erected by the unconvinced agnostic or even the militant atheist. Religion says the existence of God can be proved. The agnostic says it can't be proved, and the atheist claims proof of the non-existence of God. Obviously, the dilemma of the wanderer from faith is that of profound confusion. He thinks himself lost to the comfort of any conviction at all. He cannot attain in an even small degree the assurance of the believer, the agnostic or the atheist. He is the bewildered one. Any number of AAs can say to the drifter, yes, we were diverted from our childhood faith too. The overconfidence of youth was too much for us. Of course, we were glad that good home and religious training had given us certain values. We were still sure that we ought to be fairly honest, tolerant, and just that we ought to be ambitious and hardworking. We became convinced that such simple rules of fair play and decency would be enough. As material success founded upon no more than these ordinary attributes began to come with us, we felt we were winning at the game of life. This was exhilarating, and it made us happy. Why should we be bothered with theological abstractions and religious duties, or with the state of our souls here or the hereafter? The there and now was good enough for us. The will to win would carry us through. But then, alcohol and drugs began to have its way with us. Finally, when all our scorecards read 0, and we saw that one more strike would put us out of the game forever, we had to look for our lost faith. It was in AA that we rediscovered it, and so can you. Now we come. I had been such a devout follower of Jesus Christ when I was a young girl. I remember sleeping under the pews with my mom, and I could hear her praising Jesus, and I would hear her speaking in tongues. And I remember being saved for the first time when I was 14, and it was the most amazing feeling, and I was on fire for God. I loved God so much, and I wanted to help other people, and that's what I always wanted to do when I was younger. I wanted to be in a position where I could help others, whether it be through working in therapy or helping others, being a counselor or a nurse, just some kind of job where I was helping other people. And whenever I was on drugs, I felt like I had no connection to God, and I hated him so much because I felt like he had just abandoned me. I was in this negative headspace where all I could think about was how I had been dealt these horrible cards, and how did I get here, and why was my life going like this, and why couldn't I stop shooting drugs? And then when I finally became willing to try to do something different, and my son got taken from me, and I started working the steps with my sponsor, that's when I realized, through getting to this step right here and then going forward, that the whole time I was drinking and using and partying and overdosing and going to prison and dying, and I realized that God had never left my side, and that he was right there beside me the whole time, and that he saved me from dying because I should not be alive. He spared my life so I could be a mother to my son. And that's when I realized, God never left you. You turned your back on him. And that's what happened. I turned my back on my faith. And I'm not perfect, and there's days where I think I don't pray, or I'm not the best person to people, or I might cuss somebody out. But you guys, God has performed a miracle in my life. Because I couldn't stop thinking about drugs. And I feel like now I just feel totally different if it wasn't for me going through these steps, I would have never realized that I had abandoned my faith, and that it wasn't him who turned his back on me. It was me who turned my back on him. He was there the whole time. I can remember this one time, and I told the story time about it. I think when I overdosed and I ended up in the coma for 7 days. I can think about that, and I think about how I shouldn't be alive and that I should have died that night. I should have died. My organs were shutting down, and my God had a bigger plan for me, you know? And I still don't even know what he wants me to do, but I feel like I'm trying to find my way. I'm trying to find my way to what he wants me to do and what he has in store for me. And I think that's really what being sober and in recovery is all about, is like working towards finding out what your purpose is and what you were here for, because we all have a reason for being here. We all have a greater good that we're supposed to be doing. Sorry. Now we come to another kind of problem. The intellectually self-sufficient man or woman. To these, many AAs can say, yes, we were like you. Far too smart for our own good. This is my husband. He is like this. We love to have people call us precocious. We used our education to blow ourselves up into prideful balloons, though we were careful to hide this from others. Secretly, we felt we could float above the rest of the folks on our brain power alone. Scientific progress told us there was nothing man couldn't do. Knowledge was all-powerful. Intellect could conquer nature. Since we were brighter than most folks, so we thought, the spoils of victory would be ours for the thinking. The God of intellect displaced the God of our fathers. But again, John Barleycorn had other ideas. We who had won so handsomely in a walk turned into all-time losers. We saw that we had to reconsider or die. We found many in AA who once thought as we did. They helped us to get down to our right size. By their example, they showed us that humility and intellect could be compatible, provided we placed humility first. When we begin to do that, we receive the gift of faith, a faith which works. This faith is for you too. And I hear a lot of people say, or a lot of, like, especially people whose kids are millennials, they'll say, you know, well, they're just too smart for their own good. And this is such a simple program, you guys. Like, it's so simple. All you have to do is take suggestions. That's it. Like, take suggestions, be willing, open-minded, and honest. And what will happen is some people will put so much overthinking into it that they'll make it harder than it really is, and they'll have problems trying to do it. All this is about is getting honest, is looking inside yourself, getting honest, finding a higher power, and accepting the fact that you can no longer drink and use, you know? It's spiritual progress. It's you progressing. And a lot of people think that it has to be so much more than that. Like all these debates about whether you're clean or sober, or whether you're in recovery or not in recovery, like that's not what this is about. This is about spiritually growing. This is about getting past that obsession to use and growing in your person, in your soul, and what makes you you. And that's as simple as it is. Like, it's that simple. And it's not rocket science. It's not anything that's hard. I mean, I'll tell you this right now. The things my sponsor has me do are things like this. Call her in the morning. Okay? She'll give me a homework assignment. and usually it's to read and write how I feel, or it's to do a workbook. Um, the most inclusive and the most invasive thing I've ever done for her is my fourth step, and that's where I wrote out all the things that I had resentments about, things that I've harmed and hurt others by, things I've done to hurt or harm others. Um, I made an amends list of people that I owed amends to. Like, we went through it all together, and that's the most, like, thing I've done that was really kind of like I had to put a lot of thought into it. But none of it was difficult, and none of it was like I had to use my brain for. It's all from coming from inside, and like really looking inside of Cher or, you know, Jordan, looking inside yourself and going, you know, can I be honest, you know? And for the longest time, like, I could not be honest with myself, you know, and that's why I'm like challenging myself now. That's why I'm working so hard to get to a point where I can taper off my medication, you guys, because I want to be able to show you guys, like, yeah, like, I really don't want to get high anymore, and I really don't want to drink and use, and I feel like, you know, I feel like if I can show other people that I can do it, then maybe they'll be able to do it too. Just like Roberta showed us how she's done it, you know. And yeah, she's fell off a little bit on the way there, but you know what? She's got back up every single time and got right back to it, and she's been honest and transparent about her relapses, which I commend her on, because so many people would lie to our faces, you guys. And if there's anything I can tell you, I have mad respect for somebody that can come in and say, I'm struggling, I need help, you know, because all of us are struggling. All of us are struggling, you know. And if somebody tells you they're not, that's a damn lie. Okay. So, okay, let me think. So I think that let's read a little bit more. Okay. So let's read this right here. Okay, the bottom. Okay, so sanity is defined as soundness of mind. Yet no alcoholic soberly analyzing his destructive behavior, whether destruction fell on the dining room furniture or his own moral fiber, can claim soundness of mind for himself. So, like, if I'm actively drinking, I can't look at my life if I'm still using and drinking and say, oh, it's not affecting me. Oh, it's not bothering me, you know? I feel like through working these steps that I have been returned to having my mind back, you know. And you guys have heard some of the stories of me and my active addiction. I was just lost my damn mind, you know. I was out of it, you guys. And it's a miracle that I'm able to even be here and read a book to you guys, you know. Therefore, step 2 is the rallying point for all of us. Whether agnostic, atheist, or a former believer, we can stand together on this step. True humility and an open mind can lead us to faith, and every AA meeting is an assurance that God will restore us to sanity if we rightly relate ourselves to Him. Oh, that's so good. Okay, let's read that again. True humility and an open mind can lead us to faith, and every AA meeting is an assurance that God will restore us to sanity if we rightly relate ourselves to Him. Have you guys ever heard, like, saying, like turning your will over, like putting your actions in line with God? That means, like, by trying to do the next right thing every day. And that's all, like I said, all this is about is honesty, open-mindedness, and willingness. And if you have those things and you want to change your life, you can do it. And these steps right here are designed for living. They can change your whole life. Your whole life. I can tell you that my life is changing little by little every day. And every day that I make the decision to wake up and thank my higher power and try to do the right thing every day and not pick up drugs and alcohol. Every day that I don't use, you guys, I feel stronger. The farther away I get from drugs and alcohol, the more confidence I'm gaining. And it's all a process, and it doesn't happen overnight. And yes, you're going to have using dreams. And yes, you might still think about using, and that's okay because you are learning a new way to live. And it doesn't happen overnight. You know, it just happens one day at a time. And all you have to do is be honest and be willing and open your mind to suggestions. That's it. If you can be honest about what's going on and how you're feeling and what you need and what you've done, and you can turn over those wrongs and make it better and try to make your life and improve your life, and you're open-minded and willing, I'm telling you right now, you are well on your way. So I am so excited. So that's step 2, my experience with step 2. As you guys can see, I'm really emotional about step 2 because, like I said, I thought that I thought that God was not there for me. And then through working this step, I learned that He was there with me the whole freaking time. And you guys, He's with you right now too. Your higher power is with you right now, no matter what. And He's never going to leave you. And there is a purpose for you, and you've just got to find it. Just like I'm working on finding my purpose, you have to work on finding yours. So I love you guys so much. Cher, thank you so much for staying here and listening, girl. I'm so excited that you're here and that I hope you're getting something out of this. I can tell you now that this is helping me so much. And thank you so much for letting me share with you guys, because it helps me stay sober. It helps me so, so much. You have no idea. Like, I really needed to have this. I love this, but this is making me excited about staying sober. This is amazing. I love y'all. Thanks for being here.